Last year's Leinster hurling final had a different feel about it as Dublin made a rare appearance in the decider. Well, this year's final is something different again as the men from the West come over the Shannon looking for silverware. The drive for five continues for Brian Cody and Kilkenny this afternoon. Already enshrined in hurling history, immortality beckons as they seek out that which has never been done before.
Team to do 4 in a row since the 1940s.
Galway remain the last team to defeat the champions all of 5 years ago. A subsequent move into Leinster saw the two face off in a great tussle in Tullamore last year. This time it's the Leinster final. The Cats are on the prowl once again, but the question is, can anyone stop them? Yes, we're here at Croke Park this afternoon for the 2010 Leinster hurling final between the defending champions Kilkenny and Galway, and the throw-in for the big match is at 4 o'clock. Well, it certainly has a different feel to it to see Galway fans here at Croke Park on Leinster hurling's big day, but I suppose the real question is, will the results be any different? With me here in our Croke Park studio for the day are Cyril Farrell, Tomás Mulcahy and Ger Loughnane. And the question is straight away, Cyril, can Galway do it today? It's a special day, obviously, but the result is that going to be any different? Yeah,
well, it's unusual, Michael, that we're playing for the Burren Cup here for Galway people. It's great to be in it, first of all. Galway, great preparation. They have 3 good championship matches played, but the only problem is they're kind of Jekyll and Hyde, one half good, one half bad. Now, if Galway have a very good day, and they need a very good day to beat Kilkenny, you'd have to feel Kilkenny would have to have a little slight off day. They are the All-Ireland champions, going for 5 in a row. They are very, very strong. They have strength and depth, and what Galway would really need is a good performance, even if they were beaten, that they wouldn't be hammered out the gate.
Windy conditions here in Dublin today. We've had trees and foliage and everything blown all over the place. Doesn't look too bad here in Croke Park. It looks calm enough, but any bit of wind could spoil this game. Yeah, and it's blowing into the hill 16 inches. It's very noticeable there in the minor game. It's quite strong. Now, according to the weather forecast, it'll be nice and balmy. It'll get weaker as the day goes on. It'll be interesting who wins the toss and who actually takes the breeze. I have a feeling that if Galway win the toss, they will take the breeze and try to hit Kilkenny early on. Galway are going to need goals early on to win this game. If they don't get them early on, as it goes on, Kilkenny will get stronger and stronger. The plan is for Galway, we know this, Tomás, is they're going to go out and tear into it from the start. They don't want Kilkenny to start dictating the game to them.
Yes, you would hope, I mean, as Sir mentioned, right, I mean, they have an opportunity taking the Burren Cup across the Shannon right for the first time ever, you know, so if you look at that from a Kilkenny perspective, I mean, they would feel like that their patch has been invaded. This is a Leinster trophy. We want to keep it in Leinster, right? And you'd look at Galway today and you'd say, look, you're in an All-Ireland quarter-final, take the shackles off, play with abandonment and freedom and stuff like that, right? And like the likes of Niall Hayes and Canning that we saw the last couple of weeks, vary their positions, plenty of movement in the forward line, and they've got to take on Kilkenny. They've got to be in their faces, but they've got to run at those backs and stuff like that. And they could cause trouble, certainly. But I mean, overall, I suppose the key man for me, that has been the guy that has been the driving force for Kilkenny over the last couple of months, certainly, and maybe in the last championship match, has been Tommy Walsh, the little terrier. Playing wing back, certainly, I mean, but if you look in his position sense, he's been playing in every position in the back line, and he is the star performer. One
point from Galway is they're now playing their 3rd big championship match in a row. Now, Ger, you've been there as a manager with teams as well, and sometimes it can just be a match too far.
Yeah, well, the only thing is, Michael, which is better or which is worse?
Sure, yeah.
3 matches in a row or no match in a row.
Feast or famine.
And I was just
Galway
thinking out there, selling myself,
matches.
about 4 or 5 years ago, selling myself went down to Galway with Pat Dunning to try and persuade them to come into to Leinster, and we were met with less than open arms, shall we say. But now that they are back here, you know, that the step has been made. If you think 2 or 3 years ago, you wouldn't be even started the championship yet in Galway. In several time, they'd be training for the last 2 or 3 weeks because they'd have no match till the end of July. Now they have 3 matches under their belt. I hope they're not using the excuse that they're tired after 3 games.
Yeah.
You know, because that should sharpen them up really. So really, they're coming in here never better prepared, never better ready, But today is the day. There's no excuses now. That's the great thing about Galway.
Absolutely.
They have no excuse today, and they must produce the goods.
The one thing about it is, you know, any game against the defending champions is a tough game, but this is Kilkenny. They're different. Cyril, you've been looking at them. You're looking at their strength and depth, and we all know about it.
Yeah, well, like, they have guys in the subs, Michael. They have all stars, and you know, here's a start against Kilkenny. TJ Reid, new captain. Look, pop pass here, Teddy Brennan starts off very good, back of the net, and he gets on very well. Like, he doesn't miss chances against Oisin Goff. Now Goff plays very well against him after this, and after, like, in the second half, Cody gets fed up looking at him, and he brings on a lad called, you know, young Fogarty. Now Fogarty is a regular as well. He'd have been on most of him. He comes on, catches the hurling orthodox, and within 2 or 3 minutes he has the ball in the back of the net twice. Now that's the strength and depth they have. They've all these kind of guys waiting to come on and ready to impress them. Now today, Fogarty isn't on, by the way. Like, Eddie Brennan is still on, but this he only got 2 chances. Goff was doing very well on Eddie Brennan. Next to this, he comes on and sticks in the back of the net. Like, again, it shows you the strength and depth they have. And when you look at their first 5, they all have won All-Stars and about 4 or 5 All-Ireland. So, like, the subs are very, very strong. Undoubtedly, any sub that comes out of Kilkenny will not weaken their team.
Yeah, that's a huge advantage for any county to have.
No doubt about that, you know, and I mean, we were kind of smiling to ourselves as we went through the programme outside, and you look at the subs and stuff like that as well. I mean, there's unbelievable talent there, and I mean, you'd expect, if things don't go right for Kilkenny, certainly within 10-15 minutes, like, I mean, he's shown Brian Cody that he's ruthless, and there will be changes made, you know, so that is the key strength and depth.
Okay, lads, let's hear from the Kilkenny manager then, ahead of today's game. That, of course, as we said, is Brian Cody. He is talking to Joanne Cantwell.
Well, Brian, is this the toughest Leinster final you've faced for some time now?
Hard to say, Joanne. I know it's going to be a very, very tough game, obviously. You know, we've had tough Leinster finals, many of them over the years. But obviously Galway have had terrific preparation coming into this one, and whereas our preparation hasn't been nearly as good, I suppose, match-wise. But look, at all these games are tough, so we just have to be ready for it now.
So you'd put that, what looked like a very clinical performance against Dublin, as a negative rather than a positive going to this?
No, it wasn't a negative. I mean, the object of the exercise was to win the game, but we didn't have as tough a game. Offaly gave Galway 2 really tough games in the last 2 weeks. And, you know, championship matches do matter. But look, there's no excuses coming at all. I'm not suggesting there is whatsoever. We're as ready as we can be. They're as ready as they can be, and it has the makings of a great game.
Brian Cody ready for another Leinster hurling final. Next up, we're going to hear from the Galway manager, John McIntyre. Now, 3 outings already this year in Leinster. How is he feeling ahead of this afternoon's game? Joanne Cantwell has also been speaking to him.
Well, John, there was concern expressed about having 3 matches in 3 weeks. How do you think the players are today going into this?
It's not an issue for us, to be honest. We are where we want to be, playing the All-Ireland champions in Galway's first ever Leinster final. That's what we've been training for since, you know, last November when we pulled the squad together. Touch wood, we've had a good year so far. The 2 previous finals we've been in, the Walsh Cup and the National League, we emerged victorious from those. So we're hoping that trend will continue today.
Different kettle of fish today, though. How do you beat Kilkenny at Croke Park?
Well, it's very difficult. I think they've won 19 championship games in a row on their way to 4 All-Ireland consecutive titles. We're probably going to have to play the game of our lives individually and as a team. And we intend to attack Kilkenny from the throw-in. We're not going to stand back and wait for them to dismantle us or anything like that. It's a great opportunity for our players to measure themselves against probably hurling's greatest team ever, and it's a challenge we're not going to back away from.
Yeah, they're not going to back away from it. Jerry, you were there with this Galway panel, or a lot of them anyway, before John McIntyre's team. Have they got the stuff to do it, in your opinion?
Well, yeah, and it's amazing how little the panel has changed, really. It's basically the same team as was there for the last 3 or 4 years. You have 5 defenders who were there in 2005, which is very, very little change. And I suppose that shows the dearth of talent coming through, defenders anyway, in terms of defenders anyway. Yeah. But what I would say is, you know, and you can always say things after the game, but before the game I would say John McIntyre is getting the absolute maximum out of the panel he has available for him. And he's playing the very best players that Galway have available. Right, Fergal Moore is injured, he's the best defender in Galway, he's injured. So he's getting the very, very best out of him. I know today is the big test, you know, they have won the league, they have won the Welsh Cup, but really the test is Kilkenny. The test is the best team that's there. Today is the day that we'll really see what Galway are like. But as of now, John has done a fantastic job. Their work rate has really improved. Their physical fitness is way, way beyond what it was before. And people who are not on can have no complaints because they're not on because they're not fit enough. So he's given a chance to the best players that are there. Now, they better take on responsibility. And it's up to them now.